I think sometimes at the beginning, people think that they shouldn't move, that they will break their meditation, but definitely people can move. It's very free form. And if you're not comfortable, you can move. And it's not to like get hung up on how your body is. Like I think sometimes people have some concept in their mind and then it's hard for them to do the meditation itself.
Hello and welcome to Cham Chats. Here we talk about self-discovery and finding true happiness within. I'm Leanne, and today Matthew and I sat down with meditation expert Maria to discuss and debunk some common misconceptions about meditation. We talk about how having a clear mind is not a prerequisite to meditating, but rather a result of the practice, why you don't need to know how to sit still in order to start, and most importantly, that anyone can do it. Thank you so much to Maria for coming on and helping us with this topic. We hope you enjoy this episode of Cham Chats. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
Welcome
Hi, Leanne. Hi, Matthew.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here today.
We're happy to have you. Maria is a very special person in our lives, so it's very honored to have Maria here today.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be with you guys always.
Can you tell us, can you tell the listeners who you are?
Sure. My name is Maria Klein, and I've been guiding meditation for about 10 years. And I've practiced this meditation particularly for about 13 years. And I would say I have been a meditator for many years. Even before that, I'd always been looking for answers and seeking other spiritual practices before I started this meditation. So it was definitely always something I was very interested in. And not until I found this meditation that my life changed, I would say, like a complete 180, like a whole new world, and living always gratefully and a happy life now. Whereas before I was always living stress, anxiety, a lot of questions, and I lived with a lot of constant seeking for spiritual answers. So I read so many self-help books and did a lot of yoga and different retreats, and I would always be looking for answers. And not until I started this meditation journey that I feel like I no longer have to look for answers. So I feel really so thankful for this method because it actually resolves everything.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Matthew, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so we brought Maria on today to talk about various meditation myths or misconceptions or kind of how people might perceive meditation or assumptions they have. And yeah, we're going to talk about that and bust some myths, I guess, and set the record straight.
Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so we did a little research on some common misconceptions about meditation, as well as some things that we might have heard, or even like Maria, as a helper for a long time, gets a lot of similar questions from people that we want to kind of address today and put out there. So yeah, I guess I'll list some of the things that we found. So first, is meditation only for spiritual people? Any thoughts?
I think this is a really great topic to talk about. I personally think I thought that before I started this meditation practice, because I thought I was really on a spiritual journey. And one thing that really made my mind come up when I first began, actually, I went to South Korea on a meditation retreat. And I saw a lot of young people, maybe even in high school, sometimes college students that were meditating. And I could tell like they were not there because it was by their will. Like it was actually their parents sending them to meditation. So I felt like, oh, is this like, it doesn't make sense why they would be meditating. It's not like they're really looking for meditation. But actually, it really kind of blew my mind as I continued to meditate and like realize like how important meditation is for everyone and like what a gift these parents were giving to their kids. This meditation particularly is really giving people common sense and an ability to reflect on themselves. And it's not just about a spiritual practice, it's such a practical life solution. So, yeah, I feel like it's a big misconception for people to think that meditation is only for somebody who's looking for spiritual answers. So it's really for anyone from any walk of life. Yeah, that's how I definitely had to debunk that myth by myself in my experience because it was also in my mind.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I always appreciated about this meditation practice in this community is that you meet everybody from so many different walks of lives and backgrounds and races and even religions, and we all just kind of get together and just connect, So yeah, I would say definitely just for all of our experience here, we could say that's definitely not true. Mm-hmm. And I think that probably also comes from too, you go back even probably 20, 30, 40 years ago. And, probably the view of like the meditation or spirituality was, a monk sitting in a temple, meditating or praying all day. But I think nowadays it's become more like forefront, either in like media or online and in people's minds. And yeah, I think it's so much more now about like just mental health and kind of practically improving your life, and that you don't really have to go to a mountain anymore to meditate. You can really do it every day.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, we've met so many people like that came from all different, even like religious backgrounds, spiritual backgrounds, or even like not having any spiritual or religious backgrounds too. And yeah, I mean, we're taking care of like cleaning out our minds and finding our true selves within us. And that's something that anybody can do. And even like it's scientifically proven as well that meditation helps like reduce stress and anxiety and things like that. So yeah, anybody can do it.
Right. Yeah, even the science shows that, it lengthens telomeres. So telomeres are the end of the chromosome. And when people have stress, the telomeres get frayed. And eventually when the telomeres are gone, it's the end of the lifespan. So there's not a lot of things that will actually increase telomeres, but they have found that meditation is one of the number one ways that strengthen and lengthen telomeres, which are the end of your chromosomes. So yeah, like it is so important for everyone, for all walks of life, to become healthy, more happy. Yeah, better life solution.
Okay, so another misconception is that you have to clear your mind completely. Is that true?
Well, I definitely think that if people think that it sounds very, very challenging. If somebody thinks, "Oh, I have to clear my mind completely," how are you going to do that? So if somebody from a beginner mindset has that idea, it would sound very overwhelming, because likely there's many thoughts, and how can one really clear their mind completely? But this particular practice is really a solution of learning how to clear your mind. And it is definitely a patient process of clearing the mind, because there has been so many things accumulated as we come to know through this meditation. All we've done basically our whole life is accumulate everything into our mind from what we've seen, smelled, tasted, heard, felt, emotionally, sensationally. Everything is getting recorded and imprinted into the brain. So even scientifically speaking, I think the National Science Foundation says that the humans live with approximately 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and that I think it's like 60 to 70% of those thoughts are negative, and that 90 to 95% of the thoughts are repeated from the previous day. So it's like people are just living in like a hamster wheel, like repeating the same thoughts, everything every single day. So if anybody has that thought that they have to meditate and clear their mind completely, I think they would be very stressed out to think that, and it's not true. No. Yeah, it takes time and patience, but this meditation, the journey is to actually find that clean, peaceful mind within, which is one with the infinite origin, the universe. So it is not like a place that you can find quickly. It's actually a place that needs to gradually be awakened as you do the meditation and cleansing your mind.
Yeah. Even as someone who's been meditating for a while, the thought of having to clear your mind completely still sounds difficult. So, yeah, I think even though there are many type of practices out there, I know definitely for what we do, it's not really the goal. I think it's a benefit that happens along the way. Is that you kind of have less and less thoughts, but yeah, you definitely don't need to start out with that mindset. As Maria said, I think you're going to make it harder on yourself if you start off that way. So,
yeah, I was thinking something similarly. Like, I think as a result of the meditation, you're just naturally going to have a clearer and less cluttered mind. Yeah, so it's not something that you have to like magically know how to do the second you walk into a meditation session. But I think ironically, at least with this method in particular, it's almost kind of the opposite in a way, because our method is about reflection and then discarding. So in a way, we're kind of like thinking on purpose, but for the purpose of letting it go. So it's not like, And again, there are different meditations that might be about trying to clear your mind in other ways, but at least for this one, that is our intention, is to reflect and then to let go. Right. And eventually you'll be much freer from those random, intrusive, cluttered thought cycles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's what have to let a lot of people know who start meditation at the beginning, is like they can think, like I can't settle down my mind. Like there's a lot of thoughts, there's so many things, like I can't really quiet my mind. But that's so normal at the beginning. Like people are going to have a lot of thoughts, and a lot of thoughts will come up. And then we also have a very organized process in meditation of how to clean out all those cluttered thoughts. And even random things will come up, but you'll be able to clean it out. And then you will get the benefit after you're done meditating. Often a lot of people feel more calm or peaceful, and that mind, like that's when you kind of get to see more of that quiet mind actually after meditation. People feel it.
It's definitely more like mine's more like a muscle. So meditation is kind of like the gym for your mind. You kind of practice not following your thoughts and build up the strength in your mind. Then kind of naturally either less stuff comes up, or what does come up, you kind of just let it pass easier.
Okay, our next misconception: meditation is about zoning out or escaping reality.
Anybody have experience with this?
Zoning out or escaping reality, or thinking that that's what meditation is?
Yeah, or thought that was. I'm just wondering, because I haven't heard that too much. People have that misconception, but
yeah.
I definitely have experience with wanting to do that and trying to do that before I started meditating. But yeah, I mean, ironically, anything I tried before was just a temporary escape. And yeah, definitely as I started meditating, kind of learned that, okay, this is the permanent escape from, what was going on in my head. Yeah, because when I practiced like some sort of like meditation before, whether that was just with like an app or something I found online, and I kind of found I was like, oh, I feel peaceful in the moment, but when I stop, everything kind of comes rushing back.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that sense, like I was like kind of able to like escape from what was going on in my head for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I don't know if I tried if I could last an hour before, but yeah, when I found this practice, it's definitely became more about actually just looking at what's inside you. And it's actually, this practice is more about facing reality in a way, and yeah, reflecting and letting it go, and yeah, finding something deeper inside.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I think the zoning out, like if people do this meditation zoning out, it's very hard to progress because this meditation is a very active self-reflection process. So definitely we recommend member meditation students and people who practice not to zone out. um, keep practicing cleaning your mind, and that's what this meditation is all about, is to continue to look, reflect, and let go. Otherwise, if we're just zoning out, it's hard to progress, get anywhere where we really need to go. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as escaping reality, I think maybe in a way, like in the past, I would think, oh, well, I have this problem that I need to solve, and me sitting here with my eyes closed trying to relax is not going to solve that problem. Like I need to take action, and I need to like think about what's a logical and efficient solution to this problem or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in that way, some people might think that it's like, I don't know, a waste of their time or something like that if they have something pressing going on. But yeah, but I think that this meditation, on the contrary, actually helps you to really be in touch with reality, because when you don't have all that thought clutter blocking you from like seeing what's actually really happening, because as we all know from doing this practice, that like we all live in our own individual mind world. We see the world in our own individual way based on our own personal like life that we lived and our DNA and all of that kind of projects over the world. So we don't actually see the world as it is. We see it as we are. So when we do this practice, then, and we come out of that mind, then we can actually really see how the world is in real life.
Very true. Thank you, Leanne.
So some people think meditation, it requires a lot of time, too much time.
Right. Many people think that they don't have time for meditation. There's no time. It requires a lot of time. That is true, that people think that, but actually, I think I heard one time that somebody who doesn't have time for meditation, like somebody who meditates should meditate for 1 hour, and then somebody who doesn't have time for meditation should meditate for 2 hours. Because that's how much we really need it. And I think when people can understand the necessity of it and why it's so important, they start to very easily fit it into their life. Like it becomes a part of, oh, I wash my body every day. I should do that with my mind too. And then I always had time to take a shower. I think I can always have some time to clean my mind. It's kind of a very it's just a part of the life, like such a daily life activity. But nobody told us to do it like our mom and when we were young. Nobody said, hey, did you clean your mind today? Like, did you take a shower today? But, so we didn't know about it, but finally we're kind of finding out, why it's so important. Like it's necessary. We need to go clean up and when we see it like that, I think it's very easy to like make it a part of our life and our schedule. And when we just saw it as like something maybe not important, I think then we could think it just takes too much time. Yeah.
Yeah, when you really see the value in something, then that's when you can really kind of naturally put your time towards what we value. It's usually where our priorities are. It's kind of where our time goes.
Very true.
It reminded me of something Blake said when we recorded with him, that I mean, same thing. It's like where the priorities are. And he said that there's always non-negotiables in your day-to-day life. Like you said, showering. But like one thing he said was like, you put clothes on every time you walk outside, right? You don't say, oh, I forgot to do laundry. So like there's some things you just do it. So yeah, if it becomes part of your normal routine, then it's, yeah. But I also, as far as like how much time it takes, I also think you can put as much or as little time as you're willing to put into it, but that's also what you get out of it. So it's like going to the gym. Depending on what your goals are, you might go 2 days a week, you might go 5 days a week, you might go every day. I don't know. But like you're going to see results as a direct correlation of how much time you put into it. So it's really up to you how much you want to do that, I think. But I think also consistency over long period of time is more important than like killing yourself over, oh, I have to do 5 hours of meditation every single day or something like that. I think just keeping up with it in general is going to be better for your mental health long term than stressing about how long each session should be or something like that.
Yeah, even as I've been meditating and been at the center here, like, you know, I've seen people who come every day, like myself, or people who are, they come like maybe 2 or 3 days a week and they still get a lot of benefit out of it as well. So I think it doesn't have to be like this sort of thing that takes up like a massive part of your schedule, but you just kind of fit it in, you know, regular sessions or classes as much as you can. And then it's something that you could even practice even, you know, 5-10 minutes throughout the day when you have it, when you have time for that. So yeah, like Leanne said, just consistency over the long term is, you know, most important thing.
Absolutely. Consistency is always the most important. And then even I think if when people, they meditate a couple times a week, they're also experiencing the benefits. They're changing, and many people's schedules are not allowing, if they're parents, they're working full time. And what is truly remarkable of in living in this era is that people are able to meditate from Zoom. They don't even have to take the time to go to the meditation center. They're able to just very simply log in, and you know, so many people meditate from anywhere, and it's so versatile. So it's really easy to practice. And even as people are getting used to the meditation, they're able to do it on their own, practice before they go to bed at night, do a little bit of meditation, remembering to let go, and they can just have the tools with them every day, anytime.
Yeah, it's definitely easier than ever, I think, to incorporate it in your life.
Yeah.
So, no excuses.
No excuses. Just do it. This week's theme. We are learning how to not have excuses.
Okay. Another misconception is that it's easy and always relaxing.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if people feel, okay, meditation's supposed to be easy, supposed to be relaxing, you know, could be really like make them not want to do it too, like because they feel like they can't relax or they won't think it's easy. I think if that conception is in people's minds, it could be deterring them from starting. But meditation, I think, is what allows people to learn how to relax. I think so many people are so tense already in their mind and in their body, in their life. So that's really what we need. We need to actually learn how to relax through cleaning our mind and getting rid of the roots of why we're not actually relaxed. And you do not have to necessarily be relaxed, but actually by cleansing your mind and learning how to do it, people will be able to be in a relaxed state even while they're doing the meditation itself, definitely. But I think it's a process. At the beginning, people could not always feel relaxed, but it's also takes some time to build that within them as well, to be able to be relaxed in their meditation. But with patience, anybody will definitely have that as well. Yeah. What was the first part again?
That it's easy.
Yeah, I think if people feel meditation is easy, I'm not sure what they think is easy. But yeah, I think it definitely can be easy, but it takes some effort. It's not something that you need to just like, it's not just about relaxing too. Sometimes people think, oh, meditation is about taking a nap or relaxing. But actually in this meditation, we're very active, and it's, like going to the gym for your mind. So it's really different, and that's what makes you have the results. And it's really not always easy. It takes a lot of patience to reflect on ourselves. It takes a lot of endurance in that sense as well at times, to look back and let go of things. So I think people build a lot of capacity through the meditation process as well.
Yeah, I think definitely with our practice, I think we all know it's not always easy or pretty, just because we know sort of the things that are in our mind that we're going through or we're dealing with. Like, it's not really pretty inside our mind, so it's not always going to be a pretty process when we're letting it go. I think definitely understanding that and realizing, I think that the ultimate goal is to sort of address what's in our mind. I think when you kind of know that that's the ultimate goal of the practice, then, whether it's easy or not easy, you can kind of still keep going in that direction. And, because I feel like if we say, oh, I'm supposed to be relaxed or I'm supposed to be this way after I meditate, then that expectation, I think, kind of keeps us from actually making progress towards just naturally being relaxed.
Yeah, I think anything in life always will have its ups and downs. But yeah, I was even thinking like Matthew said, there's a lot in our minds, and it's not much of it is not very pretty. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And what we're also doing in this meditation is we're getting to the root of the problems that we have in our life. And even if you think in literal terms, like if you're gardening, or you're like, cutting weeds or something like that, obviously it's much easier to just like mow over a couple weeds, but then they're just going to keep coming back like immediately. Taking the time and effort to actually get to the root might be a little bit more difficult and time consuming, but better in the long term. So yeah, so it might not be the easier solution. So it might not always be easy, but long term, it's the better way to go about it, I think. And then naturally, as a result, you will be more relaxed because you'll have gotten to the root of everything that's been affecting you. So it might not always be relaxing in the moment, right. But your life will definitely become much more relaxed as a result.
That's what I remember Claire, or their helper, that always saying is that, like, being relaxed or happy or, whatever benefit you want, like that. It's like the symptom of meditating in a way. Like after you meditate for a while, it just comes naturally. Like but it's not necessarily the goal of meditation.
Mm-hmm. Our next misconception is that it's a quick fix for all problems. I mean, that's a pretty nice misconception, if you think.
I know. I actually had thought about it a while last night when I looked at them. I thought, well, if people really think that, it's very interesting. But maybe I guess people could think that if it's kind of like escaping reality, like it'll kind of fix their anxiety for the temporary moment. I'm
Mm.
guessing that that might be why people think this way. Yeah, but definitely that is a misconception, I would say. um, yeah, it takes time. I think that's already something we talked about. But yeah, to fix all of our problems, as Leanne was just sharing, it's like very deeply rooted, and a lot of our problems, we don't see the roots of them until some deep investigation, some deep processing, and actually a lot of layers, so many layers of our mind. And our mind cannot be easily understood by ourselves. Even if we were just doing it from our own perspective, we would be very impossible. Actually, it would be very impossible to resolve all of our problems. But thankfully, with this method, it really helps us to learn how to see from an objective point of view. And that is the beginning of being able to root out these problems.
Yeah, I think there's no such thing as a quick fix. Everything that's worthwhile takes some time and some effort.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think ultimately this can solve all of your problems because, like, I mean, we're kind of being a little repetitive, but like you said, we're getting to the root of our problems. But yeah, I was thinking as far as like actually, if you have something that is stressing you and you're like, I need to find an answer or a solution, that kind of problem, I think meditation can like help you to really see and like have wisdom about what to do. But then also, when you find that internal peace, you might find that a lot of the problems you thought you had aren't really problems anymore. So I think in two ways, it kind of can eliminate your problems.
Yeah, I think anything we think is a quick fix is not really like a quick fixes are really just temporary solutions or just band-aids for a problem. And I think the goal of meditation is really, or just not even just the goal of meditation. I think whatever we're looking for, like, I think if you ask anybody is like, do you want me to fix your anxiety for a day or for like the rest of your life? I think most people are going to choose, the rest of their lives. So,
Yeah.
We don't want really a temporary solution. And yeah, it's not really what meditation is. And of course, it's also something that takes time to really, I think, really reap the benefits too.
Definitely.
Okay. Do you need to sit cross-legged?
I think that's a very common misconception. Yes. I think so many people, when they first come to the meditation center, that is their idea. Like, okay, I have to sit in this position. How should I breathe? And many people have that idea in their mind that they have to sit cross-legged and on the floor. But meditation, people can do in any position, but definitely it's very helpful to sit upright, and that's when people can focus the best. And meditation takes a lot of focus and concentration, so upright position is going to be the most beneficial, I would say. Whether you're sitting in a chair or on the floor cross-legged or with your legs straight, it does not matter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think whatever you're most comfortable with and whatever can sort of minimize also like you having to move too much or be distracted by something. Of course, like comfort is kind of like the most important thing. So the specific positioning of your legs, I think, is not so much important.
Yeah. We definitely all have that sort of image when we think of meditation. We think of being cross-legged and sitting, proper posture, our hands or fingers together in a certain like mantra or position. And yeah, it's really, like Leanne said, it's just whatever you're comfortable with, and that you can, yeah, maintain your focus.
I probably shouldn't even, because I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think like there's something to do with like the chi, right? The energy, like moving through your body in a specific way. I think that has something to do with the way people sit sometimes with meditation.
Mm.
But at least I know for this practice, it's okay if you sit however you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes people who have some sort of injury, they cannot, sometimes if they have a severe back injury, they have to lie down. Even that will be okay. People can meditate in any position.
Mm. I think maybe part of where this misconception comes from too is just like with like yoga and stuff. Because oftentimes when people come to the center, they kind of ask like, "Oh, do we do yoga?" or that sort of thing. But like, no, it's really just like the mental practice. And of course, there is meditation in yoga, and for like those specific practices, they do make use of like positions or different like hand. I forget the word for what they're called, but those like different hand signs. And so I think that's probably what a lot of people immediately associate meditation with.
Mudras.
Yeah, mudras and that is, yeah. But yeah, it's not the case for every practice.
Another misconception is that it's only for stress relief. So maybe if somebody isn't very stressed, they might feel like, I don't need to do meditation.
Definitely, meditation is for everything, actually, for not just for stress relief. It definitely helps somebody who's dealing with stress relief or wants stress relief, but actually, meditation is for people who want to have successful relationships, who are looking to become more positive, who are looking to, do better in their life, or they want to find out the answers, meaning of life. Meditation is for people from all walks of life, dealing with different situations, and people who are already even living well, doing well. There's actually something that they are able to get out of this meditation as well, because the study is ultimately so we can find truth, and truth is what existed 13.9 billion years ago, exists now, it will exist eternally forever after. So this study is actually finding that complete truth so we can become complete with that existence. So it's really for everyone, for all walks of life. Anybody can do it too.
Yeah, I think many people start because we're stressed, or stress is often the catalyst that makes us look for something, but you don't have to be in a bad place to start meditating. I think there's even people who are, maybe they're already rich, successful, maybe they have good relationships and they kind of have everything that on the outside will be like, oh, this person has a good life. But even if you have everything, like you might still feel like something's missing. I think that's where meditation can help to sort of connect you to something, that deeper truth, your true self inside your mind. And so, yeah, you definitely don't have to be stressed, and you can definitely, everybody can get something out of it.
You both took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, I think as you connect to your true self, then also you can uncover your hidden talents and even like be more successful in your career or anything like that. Like you said, relationships too. So yeah, there's many, many different benefits of meditation.
Many hidden talents, like doing a podcast.
Well, we're just doing a podcast. Nobody said we were good at it.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah, it's even another benefit of meditation. You can just do something without having to worry about if you're good at it or not, and just kind of go for it. It's probably the last thing I thought I'd ever do before I started meditating.
That's why if people meditate, I think they can become successful in anything that they do. And actually our great meditation teacher talks about like this study is so you can just only do one thing at a time. So when a person really has that ability to actually do only one thing with their whole body, their whole mind, with whatever they do, they will be able to be successful. They will be able to achieve. But because people are always lost in the mind, it's very hard for anybody to accomplish anything because they follow their thoughts and they cannot actually achieve anything. So yeah, that's the goal of this meditation, is so you can be successful in whatever you do. Mm-hmm.
Do you have to be completely still to meditate?
Definitely not. I think sometimes at the beginning people think that they shouldn't move. That is, sometimes people really feel that they will break their meditation. But definitely people can move. It's very free form. And it is also, like Leanne, you mentioned, to be comfortable, in a comfortable position. If you're not comfortable, you can move. And it's not to like get hung up on how your body is. Like, I think sometimes people have some concept in their mind, and then it's hard for them to do the meditation itself if they're getting hung up on like how they have to sit, or if they can't move, they get even more hung up in their thoughts. So this is so you're not hung up in your thoughts and just do what you need to do. And we're breaking free of a lot of thoughts in meditation. So yeah, definitely it's okay to move, but I definitely find when people are deep concentration, they don't really move very much at all. Yeah.
Sounds like we're just what you're putting your focus and attention on. Is we tend to like focus on maybe the posture or the stillness, and really it's just kind of focusing on whatever the goal of the practice you're doing, and whatever you're sort of focusing on in that session is really more important than any particular posture or movement.
Like you said, when you do get in that kind of zone and you're like really deep in it, then you kind of just naturally are pretty still, I think. But again, it's not like a pressure thing, like I have to be still. It's just you probably will be still as you're doing it. So yeah, no pressure. But it also made me think of, like, we just did an episode with Brandon, who talks about having ADHD and how when he started out, he actually had to like pace around the room as he was meditating because he just couldn't sit still. So yeah, so that's like a pretty big example of like that it still works even if you're somebody that can't sit still for at first,
And that's definitely something eventually we are help. Like, meditation is not just when your eyes are closed. Even as you progress through this meditation, it's when you can be meditating while you're working, while you're doing anything. You can be doing meditation in all movements of your body and life. You can meditate 24/7 eventually.
Yeah, it's actually made me think of another, I guess it could be like a different, similar misconception, where it's like if I tell people I meditate or something and they're like, oh, I can't sit still for that long or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's like kind of when you start, you'll be surprised how long you could really sit for when you have something to actively focus on.
Right. Very true.
So it's like, even if you're someone who thinks that you always have to be up and moving, then you can still meditate.
Yeah, I had one member who, when he started, he told me, I've been trying to meditate for the last 5 years. I started with 1 minute, and then I got to 2 minutes, and now I'm at 10 minutes. I can meditate for 10 minutes. And I said, wow. And then we did meditation that day, and he meditated for 1 hour, and he was in complete shock. Yeah, it's very unexpected.
Yeah, it definitely helps to have a guide there to kind of keep you focused and help you out and keep you on track. Definitely the benefit of seeking out help too.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate like having the guides there to remind you of what you're doing. Because there are many times where my mind will just like kind of drift and I'll forget that I'm even meditating. Like I might get lost in a certain thought or something like that. And then the guide will come in and remind me to keep discarding. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's really helpful to have somebody there to do that.
We need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I realized that so much on this meditation journey is that I need a lot of help. I'm so thankful for help. Like, I was never a person in my whole life to ask for help. Like, I was always very independent and tried to, like, I kind of grew up that you have to figure everything out by yourself. Like, that was the mentality. So I felt like ashamed if I had to ask for help for somebody. But this meditation, we get a lot of help. And I think it's really amazing. I think that's something very unique about this meditation is that people are really there for helping. And I think a lot of people don't know about help, like, and how much we need help. And so it's really grateful to have help. Yeah.
Yeah, it really humbles you to, I think, to accept help from other people.
Right.
Because we do it anyway. We just do it in a more discreet way, like Google, Like, everybody's always like, nobody just knows stuff. We look it up and we find our ways to make it happen. But you're still accepting help just from a source that where you can do it privately and quietly. So we definitely need each other. Right. If that link wasn't there, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Somebody had to make it and put it there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's when you see more thankfulness about everything, when you recognize that.
Mm-hmm. So this next one, kind of jumping around, but it's kind of similar to what we just said. Do you need to be in a certain environment in order to meditate? You kind of already addressed that, but we could talk more.
Mm. Right. I recently saw the video from I don't know, she's maybe like 8 years old, kind of giving meditation tips. And it was really sweet how she suggested, like, make sure you're in like a comfortable place and find a quiet place. And I thought it was so wise of how she explained just setting up your environment for meditation. Definitely it helps, especially, many people are joining meditation from online. So I think a lot of times it's hard for people to find a spot where they don't feel distracted. But if they have a little time, like I think you can find any spot. And I've meditated with people who are locked in the bathroom for an hour. I've meditated with people who are, in a car and, they can find any spot to meditate. You can find anywhere. But if you think about it and make it a little comfortable, quiet, I think free of distractions, headphones can help if you're doing online meditation. But I think also many people have the conception, even within our meditation center, people who are used to coming to the center, and it's very comfortable to come to the center and meditate. They feel, they're able to focus really well because it's quiet and clean, like environment. So they have kind of fear to meditate from home, that it might not work as well. But actually, as they practice, they will build up the strength and ability to do it from wherever they are. And definitely taking a little time to think about your environment is helpful too when you're joining online, or give yourself a moment to think about how you're sitting, and then you can concentrate better too. Yeah.
Set yourself up for success.
Yes.
But yeah, kind of also, what you just said about like coming to the center, like it's very calm, peaceful. And I think when you're just starting out, definitely like trying to find a place that is calm and peaceful and free of distractions, I think will help you to get started. But I think the more you practice, you can really meditate in any environment.
Yeah, you said something before that I actually told a member recently that you said when you get to like a certain level, you can even meditate like while you're at work or wherever you're at, you can apply this method. Even though like your meditation session, generally you're going to be in a sitting or whatever in a comfortable place, but it's also a kind of method that you can always apply in your day-to-day life, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. So I think people do a lot better than they think they're going to in their house that has its distractions and things like that. But also, I think it's an easier transition to from meditation session to real life, because in real life, you're not going to have this like peace and quiet all around you where it's easy to disconnect and easy to focus and whatever. So in real life, you're going to be faced with a lot of like chaos and distractions and things happening around you, but you still have to learn how to be, calm in those moments and things like that too. So actually meditating in a not the most peaceful and quiet environment might actually help you in your day-to-day life to still be able to disconnect and do that no matter where you are.
Absolutely. You can build up that strength.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you need to seek a chaotic place to meditate
Right.
for that purpose, but also like, yeah, you'll be stronger. I guarantee you, somebody who's able to meditate in the middle of like, Manhattan on the street, probably better off like facing the struggles of life than somebody who only ever meditated in a quiet, and I don't know, maybe that's an exaggeration, but yeah. Okay. Meditation is a solitary practice. That is another thing that people may think.
I think particularly in this meditation, we do a lot of group meditation as well. And definitely in the sense, every individual has his own mind. So it's definitely an individual's journey. But thankfully, we get to do it together because everybody's on this journey together and everybody helps each other. So you're not alone. I think that's just something really nice to know, even on the journey, that we're not alone, and that, many people are there to kind of help us out. And even when we do group meditation online, people share their stories a little bit and encourage one another. And that is something that is, I think, really helpful for people to not feel like alone too. Like if I felt alone on this journey, it would be very lonely, very hard. But yeah, like of course we're on this journey in the sense fighting our own full thoughts, but actually, yeah, we're able to be together. And that's why we can be here today having this conversation. So that's that's great.
Yeah, imagine I was doing this podcast all by myself.
Right.
Or Matthew was doing it all by himself. How boring.
Wouldn't be too interesting. Yeah, definitely think about my journey is like I only got here because I had other people around me. Definitely would not have come this far if it was just, me on my own. And, like Maria said, it's definitely, in a sense, it's the internal journey is kind of yours to take. Like nobody can really do that for you. So in that sense, it's really kind of between you and, the truth or the universe or what you want to call it. But yeah, definitely having that community and group kind of keeps you motivated and keeps you going. Mm-hmm. And many times, like I've met the right people that it's like I needed this person at this specific moment. That happens many times since I've been doing this practice, is that like the universe just sends you who you need. And yeah, like I said, we're better together. And definitely it's very inspiring to hear other people's journey and changes, and motivates me at least to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the other benefit of having people around you is also that they can see in you like the changes that you've made and the growth that you've had, because sometimes it's so gradual, I think, that Sometimes we don't even notice it ourselves, but then somebody will point out, like, do you remember how you were 2 months ago? You're like, oh my God, you're right. Yeah. So, yeah, it's good to have other people that are going through similar journeys, but unique but similar, and we can all kind of relate and help each other out and support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So finally, is all meditation the same?
Oh, no. Yeah, I think there's so many different kinds of meditations out there. I've heard many different kinds of breathing meditations are very popular, just focusing on the breath, and some meditations stare at a candle. Some meditations are actually, I studied a meditation before this meditation about grace, having grace, grace process meditation. But there's so many different kinds of meditation out there. But I definitely, from even my personal experience, could progress 100 times more, even within just the first few weeks of this practice of it, from anything else that I had practiced, because it was finding the roots of why I had anxiety, why I had so many questions about life. And yeah, it's very, very different than anything, like, even if I was trying to receive grace a lot about like certain things that I had in my mind, it still wasn't really changing me. But this method has actually changed me very fundamentally. And I think that's what is so hard for people to do, is change. And that's what this method is all about, is actually when you change your mind, your actions, your behaviors will change, and your whole life, your destiny will change. So that is definitely something extraordinary that can actually happen, like through a practice. Yeah.
I haven't personally studied too many different meditation methods. I did one before I started doing this one, but yeah, there are all different types of meditation practices and for different purposes. So I think it's good to be open-minded and try whatever works for you. But I was just thinking, because I know like some people might have tried like a type of meditation and then it didn't really work for them. So they think like they kind of put it into a umbrella, like, oh, meditation doesn't work for me. But as we're saying, there's many different kinds of meditation. So I think just being open-minded to trying new things and then also getting to the roots of your minds, I think, is ultimately what's going to help you to feel better. So that's definitely something that this meditation practice offers. So I think it's very good.
Yeah, I think that's really what you guys said about change. I think that's really like the key. I think the key thing to ask yourself if you're starting a meditation practice or looking for one, I think, just go and try it out, but then ask yourself, like, is this getting me closer to where I want to be? Is it helping me to change what I want to change? And then I think if you sort of keep that in mind, with whatever practice you're doing, and you keep trying new things, eventually you'll find, what's working. I know for all of us, obviously, that's this practice, because we all try different things, whether meditation or otherwise. And I think the reason we're still here because it's still working. Otherwise, wouldn't still have kept going for as long as we have been. So I think once you find something that's really helping you to change, it's just sticking with it and keep going.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, there's so many meditations. And I think the other thing that's so different about this meditation particularly is that there's so much guidance. A lot of meditations out there right now, I know, have a lot of recordings. You can go to download a meditation app and join meditation through the app and listen to a recording. So people are very used to, looking up a YouTube video, listening to the meditation, guided meditation. But yeah, it might have been hard to get into it and through just listening to a video, listening to a recording. So I think that's the other thing that is very helpful and unique, is that this is always live, always guided meditation. And it's like really practical, fundamental solution of the mind. And yeah, but all the other practices that I did even prior to this meditation, I must say, like, they really helped me in many different ways to become more mindful about what was in my mind and kind of become aware, more self-aware. So everything is definitely there for helping us, and definitely finding what works for you is important. Yeah.
I think that's all the questions, all the misconceptions I have.
Okay. I was just going to mention the one other thing that I remembered. People often having, I think that my mind is too busy. I cannot meditate. That mind is that's a common misconception. People think like, I'm not going to be able to do it because I have too many thoughts. Like, I can't sit down. I can't relax at all. And there's no way I can meditate. But actually, I find that people who are like that often are very successful at this meditation, because it's a very active meditation, and it gives them something to do. So it's not that they just need to sit and quiet their mind. They're actually very active in this meditation. So that's why definitely that is a misconception, that they cannot do meditation if their mind is too busy. Yeah.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Chum Chats.
So Maria is a meditation guide for online meditation events, which if you listen to the podcast all the way through to the end, we're always kind of promoting, online meditation events for different free classes and workshops. So maybe Maria, if you want to share a little bit about it, and maybe what classes you teach too, if people are interested in taking a class with you.
Absolutely. At onlinemeditationevents.com, we have meditation for healing class, a healing meditation class, and that's usually once a month on a Monday. And we have also a meditation class for older adults. And, meditation is like any of these classes, anybody is welcome to join, whether you're an older adult or not, or if you're in the healing process. It's going to be very helpful for somebody who is in those cases, but it's also a very general overview of meditation and understanding the process and why, meditation is going to help you heal, and why meditation can help you handle any situations in life. And it's really been amazing to meditate with older adults, and they're very open and honest, and they've formed such a community in the class. So the classes are really fun, and in healing class, we do a lot of laughing meditation and do fun activities as well. So they feel a lot of healing already prior to the meditation time. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun in both of the classes. So definitely welcome anyone to join. We're always happy to work together, heal together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having the classes available.
It's our pleasure.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Cham Chats. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and follow us on social media. All of the links are in the description. And if you're interested in trying this meditation method yourself, you can visit onlinemeditationevents.com for online classes or to be connected to a center near you. See you next time.